Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to review some new drugstore products. It's a little bit from lots of different brands, so I decided to combine them all into this video, give you my thoughts as I always do, kind of review the formula of the product, tell you if I recommend it, do I see myself using it, and if it's honestly something that I can incorporate into my routine and future videos. So if that sounds good, take out all of your makeup goodies and let's go ahead and get ready together. I'm starting off my look today with the complexion, so I'm going to go in with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Primer. This is a primer, it's called the Set It Up Primer with peptides, niacinamide, and HA, which is the hyaluronic acid. A weightless cream gel primer that hydrates skin, extends makeup wear, blurs imperfection, and may help reduce pores and minimize shine for an airbrush finish. I thought I'd give this primer a go. I've never really used any complexion-based products or primers from Colourpop. All I'm familiar with is their eyeshadow palettes, their lippy sticks, maybe their lip liners. I'm gonna just take a little bit of this, like a pearl size. It comes out with a white tint to it. It almost looks like a moisturizer. So I'm excited to try more products from Colourpop. I mean, they're really affordable, easily accessible. You can get them at Target, through Ulta, even directly through the Colourpop website. And their price points are pretty fair and still very affordable. So this feels like a skincare product going on, very smooth, very silky. I do feel like it kind of blurred my skin. It toned down the look of my moisturizer. I had just done my skincare maybe 30 minutes ago. So I feel like it's definitely visible, that kind of soft glow that I can still see just a hint of it, but it's more of a, I would say more of a satin finish. I'm gonna add just a little bit more since this is supposed to help blur and smooth out pores, and I do have larger pores in this area, so I do like products that kind of smooth and prep the skin nicely for makeup. And I have been using the Blur Out Primer from Milani. I have been stuck on that for a long time. Since it launched, I've loved it so much, and that one is an instant blurring and smoothing effect. So this one, I feel like it's a little bit thinner than the Milani one. It feels more of a skincare based product. Feels like a moisturizer going on. It doesn't feel as thick, but I do like that. I feel like it definitely gave me a nice kind of satin finish, not quite matte, but it's not luminous and dewy, and I'm excited to see how this is going to play with my foundation. And I'm choosing to use a foundation that is new. I've done a video on this launch and this brand's products. I bought all the new launches. It's the Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation. If you haven't seen my review, I will post it for you. The cards in the video will take you at some point to that video, but I did review this. I am going to test out the same shade, which is number 110. I'm going to do kind of, I would say maybe a pump and a half, and I'm just going to dot this around, and I'm going to press this into the skin with my sponge, the flat side of my sponge, which is from e.l.f. I believe this is the Total Complexion Sponge. Something of the sort. I will link it down below because it's really good. It's actually a really nice one. It's kind of comparable to the Beauty Blender. I'm going to go in with a little bit more, maybe another half pump to finish this side and the forehead. I've got that all blended in. I don't really like this combo. Honestly, it's looking kind of dry. I really enjoyed this foundation over the Jelly Primer that was launched at the same time from Maybelline. And I feel like those two play well together, but this foundation with this primer is just not really, I don't know. I have to maybe look at the ingredients in this primer, but it looks a little dry. And I did dermaplaning a few days ago. By the time this video gets posted, it'll probably be about a week, maybe a few days past a week since dermaplaning. So I know it's not my skin itself with like textured and dryness, but it's just kind of grabbing here and it's not wanting to blend as well. And it just looks a little dry. It's not terrible. I can definitely wear this the rest of the day, and I will. But it's just something to note that I'm not really enjoying this combo. I like the way the primer feels. Very nice. I will have to use this with something else, maybe a different foundation, and then just kind of leave this foundation with the Jelly Primer from Maybelline because those two together were really pretty. My concealer has been applied and also set. I did use one of my favorites from the drugstore. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Full Coverage Concealer. I applied a couple dots under the eye and blended that in with my same beauty sponge, the pointed end of it. And then I did set everything with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the Sugar Cookie shade. That's one of my go-tos. It's a solid loose powder that kind of sets and blurs, makes the skin look like there's been like an airbrush filter applied. I took that powder under the eyes and through the T-zone where I do produce oil. This area has been left alone because we're going in with our next new product, and it's a cream-based product. It's from Physicians Formula. They come out with a couple new products at the beginning of the year, and this is the Butter Glow and Go Multi-Use Stick. Is that not pretty? I like the packaging. I like how it has like a bronzy tone at the top for the bronzer side and then a corresponding color at the bottom for the blush side. I like that tropical vibe. You know, Physicians Formula has that kind of feel to their products with that typical scent that smells like summer, very tropical. So this is a product that is very new. I pulled it up on the Ulta app. There's 4 different shades. The shade that I picked up is called, let's see, is it written? Yes, it's written on the back, Beachy Pink, and that's one of the lightest shades. I believe it is the lightest shade. It's $16.99, and it's a multi-use dual-ended stick with a dual finish buttery smooth formula that comes in 2 complementary shades for cheeks, eyes, and lips. So it's a multi-use product. You can use it in different places on your face, which is great. Richly pigmented velvet finish on one end and a buildable glowy finish on the other. Now, I'm not sure which side is velvety and which side is glowy. So it's made with a blend of muri muri butter. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Kupasu butter. I don't know. I could be butchering that completely. It has a couple different butters included in the formula, which is not new to the Physicians Formula brand. It's got essential fatty acids, provitamins to soften, condition, and moisturize the skin. So it's one of those things that you could use, or one of these products that you can use for different things. And it does kind of remind me of the Dibs multi-use sticks. That's one of the brands that first came to mind when I saw this, because they do have a product very similar, bronzer on one end and a blush on the opposite end. Physicians Formula does have some new products, and honestly, I wasn't quite interested in anything except for this, because this actually does seem very different for the brand as opposed to something else that's part of this launch, like the Diamond Wear Correcting Primer. We've seen primers from them before, and I've never been thrilled, so I didn't buy those. The Waterproof Butter Lash Splash Mascara, I passed on that as well. The Mineral Wear Luminous Corrector, it looks almost like a highlighter. Again, doesn't really draw my attention. They have the Butter Glow Body Bronzer, so it's like a pump, and I'm assuming it's like a mousse for bronzing on the body. Has a similar kind of color and look to some of their products that they launched last year. The only other thing that I'm kind of considering is the Mineral Wear Diamond Lip Oil. It is rather expensive. It's $9.49 on the Ulta app for a lip oil from Physicians Formula. They're a little bit pricey, but the packaging does look really cute on that. It has like a diamond that looks like it's floating in the cap. There's only 1 shade, and it's not even available yet. It's out of stock. So there's that. Yeah, so this was the only thing from what was new on Physicians Formula that I was kind of interested in trying. So let's go ahead and get to it, and let's go ahead and swatch this, apply it, see what the deal is. So let's swatch the bronzer side. Okay, that's very creamy. That's the bronzer. Very creamy, super emollient, and a lot of Physicians Formula products do have that kind of emollient base to them with all the ingredients and all those butters added to it. So I'm hoping that this wears well throughout the day. So let's swatch the actual blush side. And the blush is actually really pretty. The blush is, again, kind of glossy looking, right? Enough blabbling. Let's just go ahead and apply. I'm going to start with the forehead. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Dual Complexion brush. I feel like I need to add just a little bit more up here, closer to my hairline. And another reason why I like this brush is because I can take just a touch of it like this off of whatever cream bronzer I'm using and get closer to my hairline. I don't like putting product in my hairline or onto my scalp, but this side of the brush is actually really helpful for that, because I do have, very thin, fine hair, especially around my hairline. So this helps kind of get this a bit closer into the root of my hair and not necessarily like too much, if that makes sense. But this is blending out really nicely. I feel like the tone definitely added some warmth. It's not as orangey as I thought, because sometimes some of the Physicians Formula bronzing products can run a little orange. But I do think that they have quite a few options to choose from. I don't know if 4 necessarily covers everyone's needs as far as the undertones and the tone of the bronzer. But this one does have a little bit of warmth, but it's not overly warm. It's not too orange. I'm curious to see how some of the other colors look and see some swatches of those. But that was pretty easy to blend. And I'm going to do a stripe here. Let's try this out. And again, same brush, and just kind of blend that up towards the temples and keep it a little bit on the higher side. Ooh. Okay, so now I'm picking up the fragrance on it. Yeah, I didn't really get that initially. Okay, so it does smell very typical to the Physicians Formula products, which I feel like is kind of odd for a brand that is supposed to be sensitive skin friendly, hypoallergenic. I don't personally believe there's anything hypoallergenic about a fragrance. Fragrance is so much alcohol. If you look into what it takes to make a fragrance like a perfume, it's mostly alcohol. And that is very drying on the skin. So I don't understand. Sometimes I just don't get it. Like, it's sensitive skin friendly, hypoallergenic, great for sensitive skin types or eczema prone skin, but yet you put fragrance in it? I don't know. Is it just me? But this is blending out nicely. Let's get back on track, Lexi. The product is blending out nicely so far. So the bronzer, I think, blended out really nicely. There is very subtle kind of feel on the skin. Not overly sticky, tacky, dewy. It's not like too slippery. I feel like it kind of blended in. And I would say that this does kind of look a little bit more velvety on the skin. So I think that the velvet finish is the bronzer side, which is great. And honestly, I like that because when I pulled out of my collection the other bronzing products from Physicians Formula, these were part of the 2024 launch. They came out last year. They have the bronzing serum. Again, the packaging is very similar, that tropical vibe. I honestly have not used this as much as I thought I would. It's a nice product to add into other things like moisturizers, skincare, foundations. We've seen this. This is nothing groundbreaking. Honestly, it's nothing to write home about. Kind of more dewy than the new stick that we just tested out today. So I like the stick over that serum. And I think I like the stick versus the bronze gem. This is a mineral wear bronzer for sensitive, extra sensitive and breakout prone skin, yet it has fragrance. Again, I don't get that. But this was something that I thought was a powder when I bought it, but it's actually a cream. And this one, if you have it, let me just show you a swatch of it. It's very creamy. And let me show you a comparison swatch between this product and the new one. So the new one has just a hint more coolness compared to this one. This one has a little bit more of a yellow undertone to it, and this is the bronze gem, which I think there's multiple shades. I could be wrong about that, but this is the one from last year, and you can see how the light kind of reflects off of that. It's very balmy, very emollient. And then they also had the Butter Glow Contour one. So you may be thinking, how does this compare to this? Obviously, packaging is completely different. Formulation is different. This is thinner. This is a bit thicker because it's a stick. However, this is actually a good one. I like this. This is supposed to be a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. And I will swatch how this looks in comparison to the other shades. This is a little bit deeper. I like the consistency and finish of this contour one. And the shade that I picked up is Fair Light. And, you know, I've used this more than the bronzing serum. And I like this one. And I also do like the bronzer side of the stick so far today. So if you were looking at these products and saw them in the displays at your local drugstores, you know, I'm not really thrilled with these. I would say pass on that. Maybe check out the stick if you're interested. Or just go to a different brand. Milani's Cream Bronzer is phenomenal. I will link it for you. I think it's better than what Physicians Formula can provide. So enough comparisons. Let's go ahead and do the blush side from the stick, which is that really pretty pastel bubblegum pink shade. So let's just kind of swipe a little bit. Let's just see what happens. Same brush, and let's just tap over the bronzer. Okay, that's pretty. It's light. A little bit of a sheerness to it, but it's pretty. I like that tone, and I think it complements my more fair skin. They do have some other shades with deeper tones. I think there's like a corally shade. There's one that's a little bit more kind of red base, which is really pretty, but I'm kind of scared because I don't want to look crazy with that one. But that's nice. That's actually really pretty. And it's not as glossy and glowy as I thought. There is a little bit of a feel to the skin, but it's not too crazy. I don't think that if you were wearing your hair down, it would stick to it, kind of like those really glossy, emollient, like Vaseline textures. This is not quite as slippery as that. I like that shade. I like the bronzer. I like the blush. I hope it doesn't make me too shiny and greasy throughout the day, but so far, I think it blended out really nicely over my foundation. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it's lifting like right here. Maybe I didn't set very well my concealer because it's just like a spot right in here. So what I'm going to do is try to tap, maybe pick up some with my finger and then just kind of tap in that area. I've been skipping highlighter more often than I thought these last couple of weeks, and I decided that I wanted to get back into highlighter. And there was a specific shade from the L'Oreal highlighter sticks that was out of stock, in and out of stock at the Ulta site. So finally it came back and I ordered it. It's the L'Oreal Lay Glow Lumi Lay Glow Highlighter Stick, but the shade is called Glowy Sparkling Rosé, number 640. And I have reviewed the formula before. I did the video when it first launched, and I think that they're really, really pretty. The Lay Glass has that kind of balmy, wet look. It almost looks like you put Vaseline on the cheeks and the high points. It looks really pretty, and I like to use that one over the tops of my cheekbones. I don't use it through the center, like the nose area, because I do produce oil, so that kind of finish isn't ideal. But then they also have the Lay Glow, which is more of a cream-based formulation. And let me swatch this one. Do you see how pretty that is? It has like a rosy finish to it, an undertone with a hint of champagne, but it's so pretty. And L'Oreal, I've mentioned how it's one of my favorite drugstore brands, if not my #1 brand at the drugstore. I just love their products. I'm going to use my sponge to kind of tap that out. Yes. This is beautiful. I'm so glad I was able to get my hands on it. And you know what? There's been a lot of new stick makeup launches from the drugstore. We have the Physicians Formula. We have these from L'Oreal. We had CoverGirl. I feel like maybe sticks are coming back. Are they going to be a trend this year for 2025? Who knows? But that is stunning. Absolutely gorge. Love that so much. And I'm going to take a little bit with my finger, just kind of swiping my finger across and go down the center of the nose, the tip of the nose. I'm going to use my finger to apply some of this to the temples. Yes. I love this so much. The next product is new to me. It's been out for a few weeks. It's one of those products from L'Oreal that was in and out of stock at the Ulta site, and I just never really remembered to check in store whenever I would go to do groceries or whatever. And this is the Lamination Brow Gel from L'Oreal. So it's got a small little brush, and I'm sure you've seen this. You may have seen reviews on it already, but I have not tried it. I have done my brows already, and I did that prior to filming, and it's the Brow Mousse from Milani. This is actually a new product from them. I have reviewed this already as well. It's a tinted brow mousse. The shade that I have is 120. I believe that's medium brown. I will have to check that, and then I'll link it for you. And then I use my Maybelline Build-A-Brow pen to fill in some little sparse areas, some gaps. And that's pretty much all I have. So now I get to go in with this product and see, why is it always sold out on the Ulta site? I like that small brush. It's a clear color, and it's supposed to have a really nice hold. And I'm going to just kind of rake this through my brows and see. Okay, I do like the thin, kind of more tapered spoolie. So let me show you that a little bit better. You see how the point of it is a little bit thinner, and it kind of widens as it goes to the base of the component. So I do like that because that thinness and the tip of it, you can get really close and right into the innermost part of the brow. And you can comb those up, and then you can use that more thinner spoolie to really coat every brow hair. And I think that went on really easily and super thin, and just a really nice product all around. And I'm glad I finally have it. I'm just going to take my spoolie and just comb through my brows, clean them up here, and that is it. I do like that. I'm glad I finally got my hands on it. Moving on to eyes. I want to do a very simple look today because we have a new mascara to try out from L'Oreal. It's their newest Paradise Big Deal mascara. The claims on this is kind of wild. I have to pull it up and read it to you. You can pull up their products on the L'Oreal website, and you can also see the description on the Ulta site, or just a Google search. So it's an endlessly buildable volume and length mascara. It's a clump resistant no matter how much you layer. They have a photo of the model that's being used for the campaign for this. It shows her lashes bare, then with 15 strokes, and then 30 strokes. So who's gonna wear that much mascara? Like, normally you just kind of coat your lashes, maybe do a second full coat, maybe 3 depending on the formula. But I'm thinking anything beyond that is just gonna start weighing things down. And so I thought I'd have to try this. It says it's suitable for sensitive eyes and contact lens wearers, which that would be me. It has a cross-conic brush that evenly coats lashes. Long bristles separate and extend lashes for a clump-resistant result. New self-smoothing complex smooths lashes with each layer for a lightweight impact. the results and the photos on this website and through Google search look wild. And I thought, add to cart immediately. L'Oreal makes really great mascara. So let's talk about the Paradise mascara. Lash Paradise is great. It gives you a nice natural but lengthened and volumized look. The telescopic lift gives you a lot of thickness and drama, like a false lash effect. The original telescopic is great. Their new panorama, I've been using that for the last couple of days. That's also really great. And now I'm ready for this big deal. Because are my lashes gonna look like a big deal? I'm hoping so. The packaging looks really pretty as well. And it kind of has that same light pink as the Lash Paradise. So that is what the brush looks like. It has like a cross-conic look to it. So it kind of, if you look down into the actual brush, you can tell. I don't know if my camera's going to really show you that. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. Maybe there. It's kind of, please focus. Come on. Maybe not, but you can see how it kind of looks like it's little spikes all the way around. So it looks pretty interesting. So let's do a little bit of eyeshadow. I've primed my lids with an eyeshadow primer. Did a little bit of setting powder. I want to use one of my Kiko Milano shadows. I did a video several weeks ago with shade number 200. This is the most beautiful shade for every day. It's perfection. You guys have purchased so many of these, and I'm excited that you guys have these now and you can try them out and love them as much as I do. I went back and I bought a couple of more. So shade 200 is, 201, I mean, sorry. 201 is a little bit lighter, softer, so I think I'm going to use this one so we can see the impact of the mascara. And then shade 15 has a different packaging. Someone did mention in the comments that they are changing the packaging and possibly the formula. So this is the old packaging, and then here's the new. I like either one. The new one looks a little bit nicer, but it's the same. To me, on the inside, you get the same sort of textured, wavy look to the product. It has a divot where you can put your finger in there or actually drop some liquid to make this into a wet cream formula. So it's a wet to dry type of situation, which is really nice. This shade is number 15, and I believe it's called Pearly Coffee or something coffee. It's a really nice kind of smoky brown with a bit of a sheen. It's beautiful. I've been wearing these honestly dry because they're so pigmented. If I were to wet this would be insane. So let me show you 200 in case you didn't see my video. This one has been on repeat, and that's a dry swatch, okay? So if you wet this, it's gonna be even more intense, and it is absolutely perfection. It's the most perfect rose gold shade. This is 201. It's a bit softer. It's more of a satiny finish on this one. So this is 201. So it's a bit softer, lighter, brighter. You see that? A little bit more on the cooler pink side. And let's just go ahead and swatch shade 15 in case you're curious about that one. Look at that. That's dry. So this is going to intensify if you dampen your brush, use some setting spray, wet this, and with any sort of mixing medium, it's going to be more intense. And that is that 15 shade. Let's go in with shade number 201. That looks like this. I'm going to apply this dry. I'm going to just take an eyeshadow brush. This is the A501 from BK Beauty. And I'm going to press that all over my lids, all the way up to my brow bone. I am going to take shade number 15 and use that under the lower lashes just to give me a little bit of smokiness and depth. And I'm going to use my BK Beauty 204 brush. And again, I'm just going to pick up the product dry. And I'm going to get it really close to the root of my lash, wiggling that brush back and forth. And tapering it super thin as I work towards the inner corner. I'm going to come back and blend that in a minute. Let's do the other side. Then with a 207 brush from BK Beauty, I'm going to soften and blend this out. And I might come back in with a powder bronzer after we do mascara to add a little bit of definition into the crease. But I'm going to leave it like this on the upper lids for now until we get the mascara on. But I'm just going to kind of create a bit of smokiness here really easily. Look how easy that worked out. Blended out, applied so nicely, and again, that was dry. Now let's go ahead and do the mascara. I'm going to start on my right eye, and we're going to just kind of leave this left side bare and compare the lashes. So I'm going to start with my first coat. I have not tight lined. I have not done any liner either. We're going to just kind of skip out on that today. And I'm going to coat my lashes like I normally would. And when they say strokes, do they mean each time you pass through? Because that's a couple of strokes, right? Versus it being just one coat. But one coat does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I did about 15 just there, plus what I had done before I started counting. So is that what they mean by strokes? Because then I can see the 30 strokes claim, right? But if it's 30 strokes as in 30 single layers, that might be a lot, right? Okay, so here is what I would consider one coat on me. This is how I apply my mascara. I kind of go over it a couple times without re-dipping my brush back into the tube. So I consider that one full coat of mascara. So this is the one coat, and then the bare lashes. And wow, right? Do you see that? Like, I can see it's lifted. It's definitely gave me that fanned out effect from inner corner to outer corner. It's not clumping up the lashes. It actually looks really pretty and a bit more on the softer side, right? It almost looks like maybe I don't have anything on my lashes. Maybe they're just that well curled and lifted naturally, right? That's pretty. No clumps. Wow, okay. So let's go ahead and build this up and go in with a second coat. Okay, so that would be how I would apply a second coat of mascara, and I was counting in my head, and that would be what they would probably consider strokes. So I did 22 strokes there, approximately 22, 23 strokes to create that second coat, if that makes sense. And I can see a visible difference in the length. I feel like I got like a little, maybe like a little clump there. Wow, that is really, really nice. And it definitely fanned out the lashes. I don't feel like it got any clumpy. It didn't sort of gather the lashes. I think at this point, I would probably stop with most mascaras. This is where I would consider the 2 coats for me. But let's go ahead and add a little more. I mean, we're doing research, right? So we might as well push the envelope and see how far we can get with this. Okay, so that is 25 strokes. But that would be what I would consider a third layer. So 3 coats total. So definitely we've passed 50 strokes already of this mascara on the lashes. And I feel like I did something with that third coat. And surprisingly, it doesn't feel as heavy. I mean, it's still kind of drying. And I don't think it's getting clumpy. But honestly, I don't think I would go beyond 3 coats with this mascara personally. I don't want to continue building this up because I feel like at some point we're going to start getting clumping. I don't feel like this is going to be endless where it's never going to clump. I don't truly believe that, and I don't want to find out because I don't want to mess up my eye look for the day. I kind of want to do my mascara so that I can wear it with the intent of wearing for the day. So this is 3 coats, and then here is nothing on my lashes. A huge difference, right? I feel like it definitely opened up the eyes quite a bit. And I'm really impressed. So 3 coats, but honestly, it was probably beyond 70 strokes total of the mascara. So, wowie. What do you think? I'm impressed, and I definitely will continue wearing this. I did this other eye, and I honestly didn't realize how many times you actually rake the mascara. Like, I never really counted until I figured today with these claims, no. We are counting today. And I did a total of 68 strokes. So that is 68 times just kind of doing one of these numbers, getting every lash and just keeping count. So 68 is a number that I counted here. And I do think that right here, I'm starting to get a little bit of a clumping, but honestly, it's not bad. I think I could probably get maybe like a lash comb and kind of separate. It's just right here. You may not even be able to see it, but if I point to it, it's this lash right here that is kind of like sticking at the tip to this other lash here. But beyond that, I'm really impressed that I could do so many layers, and that's honestly more than what I would typically go for in my day-to-day. I don't think I would go anywhere close to 70 strokes of mascara on my lashes, but you know, that's really impressive. So I'm going to take some of this and also go on the lower lashes. And the wand is a little bit of a flexible kind of wand. It has quite a bit of give to it, so it doesn't feel very sturdy. So just keep that in mind if that's something that is important to you. Just know that it's not like a super stiff wand. And I'm not going to do a bunch on my lower lashes because I think that would look wild. The last new products in today's video are lip products, and I am so excited. e.l.f. has expanded their range of lip oils, so they have 3 new shades in that classic kind of creamy look to it. They do have some shimmer glittery ones that came out a few weeks ago and I reviewed those. Those are absolutely magical, and 100% you should try them and buy them because they're beautiful. But these are more of that kind of traditional kind of creamy look to it, kind of similar to some of their other pre-existing shades. There were 3 shades. The third one is a little bit more on the brown side, and I don't like to wear kind of chocolatey browns. I don't feel like it looks very good on me. I've always enjoyed how it looks on other people, and I think it looks pretty with the matching lip liner. It looks so good, but I just don't feel like I can pull it off. So I ordered the 2 shades that I can see myself reaching for. So the first one is the lightest shade, and this is the one that's called It's Giving Guava, and that is so pretty. The second shade is called Money Mauve. That's cute. This one is quite dark and a little bit more of like a purpley mauve, which is a little, again, out of my comfort zone, but I thought I'd still try it anyways versus that darker brown shade. So let's go ahead and swatch these. I love this formula. If you have not tried these, what are you waiting for? This is the best lip oil at the drugstore, in my opinion. Comes with a pretty big doe foot applicator like so. Do you see how big that is? Let me swatch it. I'm going to use my other hand because I have some eyeshadow on the other side. So this is the shade It's Giving Guava. There's a little bit of a sheerness to it, but you do see some color. So it's really nice to pair these with lip liners. And then let's swatch the Money Mauve shade. And that's the Money Mauve shade. That actually looks really pretty. Not as intimidating as I thought looking at it in the components. So let's go ahead and swatch these and see how they look. So let's start with It's Giving Guava. And here is It's Giving Guava. I love this shade. I think it has that subtle kind of peachiness to it. The formula feels just luxurious. It's glossy. It's comfortable. There's like a thickness to it. Not overly thick. It's not goopy. It doesn't feel heavy or weird. I adore this formula. If you haven't gathered that, these are 100% a hit for me. Next up is Money Mauve. And here is Money Mauve. And you know what? I actually like the way this looks. I didn't think that I would because it looked quite dark in person than it did in the photos. And I actually really like this. I think it's a really pretty, sophisticated looking mauve. It doesn't look too plum or too brown. It just has that right undertone and depth to it where I could wear this with a kind of My Lips But Better lip liner. Or maybe a lip liner that has a little bit of depth to it. So like a softer brown. It's a nice shade that isn't super warm, and it's a little bit on the slightly more cool side to the mauve tones. I just really like this color. I think it looks so pretty. What do you think? Which one was your favorite? Money Mauve or It's Giving Guava? I am back. So what I did off camera was actually take off the lip oil from e.l.f. and I went in with a lip liner from L'Oreal. I love these anti-feathering lip liners, so I took the shade Worth It Medium. I lined and I filled in entirely my lips. So the Worth It Medium looks like this. So it's a little bit of a deeper kind of rose with a hint of mauviness. And then I put that Money Mauve right back on top because I actually loved the way this looks. And that is the end result that I have on today. And I absolutely love this combination of the L'Oreal lip liner with that new lip oil from e.l.f. I'm going to wear this again. Absolutely love the way that looks. I feel like the lip liner helped perfect and sculpt the lips, which is something that I personally like, especially using just lip oils for my combination for the day. I feel like those two together just played so well. What do you think? I love this, right? Is this not a pretty mauve lip with some richness and some depth, but it's not too dark, it's not too light, it's just right. Just right. And I also did go ahead and apply a little bit of bronzer into my crease. I used my L'Oreal Infallible powder bronzer with a fluffy brush, the 212 from BK Beauty. Just kind of blended that right into the crease just to create a little bit more depth and dimension to make that look a little bit more cohesive. And it was looking a little flat with just that one single eyeshadow that was fairly light. And I do feel like I like the end result of the eye look today. And that's it. That is the full face of using new drugstore products. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I'm actually really impressed with pretty much everything that we used today. It's like one of those days where everything was just great. These brands are fantastic. Their products are always so good to try. I'm still on the fence with that Colourpop Primer mixed with the Lumi Matte Maybelline Foundation. I think that maybe it's just these two together. I will try this again because I did like how that felt on the skin and how it made the skin look blurred and smooth before the foundation went on. As far as like the bronzing stick from Physicians Formula, I'm actually impressed with this. I think they did a good job with that. The mascara, yes, I will take it any day. It's a big deal. It really is. Like the claims are wild, but it actually looks really nice on the lashes. The highlighter stick, perfect. I love this formula anyways. I've tried some of these before. I love that I have that shade now. And don't even get me started with the lip oils because I absolutely love these. And I just wanted to plug in this formula as well, the lip oils from the L'Oreal brand. I have been wearing the shade Worth It with the Worth It liner every single day for the last 4 days straight. And now I have this new combination that I'm going to be obsessed with, but I wanted to plug that in. I've already reviewed these. These are great. I have loved these more so than I thought. I said in my video on these that I wish that it didn't have that tingle, but honestly I got used to it and it's almost like it's not even there. Like I know it's like a cooling sensation, but it doesn't sting, it doesn't burn, it's not painful. And I'm going to order some more of these. These are so good. I love those so much as well. I feel like the Drugstore is just knocking it out of the park. What do you think? I hope this video was helpful. I had so much fun spending some time with you today playing with some new products. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future. We'll definitely do this again. I do post every Tuesday and every Friday. And I do post periodically on Instagram. You can follow me there. It pops up here on the screen. Take care, you guys, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.